Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of the newest One Piece manga chapter, and that would be One Piece chapter 841, To the East Blue. And I actually thought this one was really good, like really good, but there were a couple parts here and there, mostly the ending, that I thought weren't great or anything. They probably, I don't even know if I could call them particularly good, but overall I thought it was really great, and there were some really great moments in there. And just breaking it down part by part like usual. At the very beginning part, before we even get to that, I'll go over the cover because I usually talk about it. This week's cover was another fan request, and it was Whitebeard with some goats, which I thought was really cool. I actually like that. I like seeing Whitebeard drawn again by Oda, so welcome back, big guy. But moving into the actual first chunk of the chapter, we have the flashback still of Sanji in that cell. We see that he is brought a fancy meal by the Germa soldiers every day, and he's pretty much just trapped in there. And while he's trapped in there, he can hear his father and his siblings up above him at the training grounds and stuff, and they're just getting along, having a normal family love fest, but without him. So then, once all that goes down, we have a flashback within a flashback, and that flashback is to Sanji going through the rain to try to bring some food to his mother, and his mother is like sick in the infirmary, and also on the way he gets attacked by a dog trying to bring it to her, and like this I thought it was really good. But I will say it seems like Oda maybe not reused, but maybe just sort of took some aspects from Usopp's backstory, and also from Chopper's, where Chopper was bringing Here Look the Mushroom. Like, it just seemed like it was, I'm not going to say it was reused or anything, but I think you could maybe argue that. I think it was intentional, though. I think it was sort of a throwback to that, showing how Sanji's been through sort of similar things, and he's been through all these problems. So I don't think it was really reused in a bad way. I think that it was sort of a throwback, and I think it fit the story really well. I wish we had maybe seen more confirmation about what happened to his mom, instead of just assuming, okay, she passed away from her illness eventually. But yeah, either way he goes, he brings the food to his mom. It's terrible food, but she eats it with a smile and says it's amazing and that she wants more. So it's really cool to just show us that's where Sanji got his love of cooking and stuff. And after all that, of course, going back to when Sanji is trapped in the cell, he asks one of the guards to bring him a cookbook and some utensils, and he starts to learn to cook while he's in the cell. So again, really cool just to show where it all sort of began at. And while he's learning to cook is when he reads about the All Blue as well. So while he's down there in the cells, when his brothers find him, they come in and beat him up. Reiju goes and fixes them up and says that they're going to be climbing the Red Line soon, which I thought was an incredibly cool scene. I love the way that their snail ships just climb up the land and go over to another part of the sea. I really like that. But that aside, then he gets beaten up by his siblings again. Reiju patches him up again, and he tells Reiju that he wants to be a chef. And of course she's like, why do you keep telling me these things? But they go in, and they're in the East Blue, and they attack this place called Kotsia, because of course they're mercenaries. But the Germa goes to attack Kotsia, and in the confusion of it all, Reiju opens the doors to set Sanji free, or bends the bars open rather to set him free. And Sanji runs off, and he's trying to escape, grab the keys and stuff, when Judge sees him. And of course, like, another interesting thing here that I thought it sort of mirrored Sanji's original flashbacks was Zeph, where Sanji pulls a knife and starts threatening Judge, just like he pulled the knife and started threatening Zeph when Zeph saw him trying to take what he thought was the remaining food. So I really thought that was cool the way they did that. But essentially he threatens Judge. He's like, I'm getting out of here. And Judge is like, okay, that's cool with me. He was like, you're the one thing that I'm ashamed of in life, but even with that, I couldn't find it in me. I couldn't kill you. That human part inside of me could not allow me to kill you. And of course, that's terrible for Sanji, because even though he didn't like his family, even though he wanted to run away, he still considered them family. And to just hear his dad say, okay, run away, cool with me, is just really, really heartbreaking. And that was probably one of the most incredible moments of the chapter to me, and I would say even more so because it mirrored the stuff with Zeph, just showing how the two different ones treated Sanji. I think it was incredible. And then when Sanji's running away, we have another scene that sort of mirrors a flashback we've had in the past. The beat for beat, to me, the Reiju telling Sanji to leave and don't come back and stuff, and you'll find people who will treat you the way you want to be treated, that seemed almost exactly like the Robin and Jaguar Diesel scene to me. But I loved that scene, and I loved seeing it with Reiju and Sanji, and showing that Reiju is a good guy in my opinion. And I would say she probably will be in the future going through this arc, and I hope she will, because I really, really like Reiju at this point. I like his brothers too, but I mean, I hate them. I like them as bad guys. They're good bad guys because I hate them. Moving on from there, what else do we have? Once he escapes, we go back to Reiju finding him all beaten up and bloodied in the current time, and she chases the doctors away, and she's like, Sanji, why do you care about this dude so much, this chef out in the East Blue? And I think it's really cool because it shows, like what she said about people treating him right, and showing the differences between the way Zeph treated him to the way Judge treated him in similar situations. The mirroring was such a good effect to use to, to convey that so well. And then the last page for me really lowers the score of the chapter, because though I do say I like to see us jump in the last page like Oda does a lot to another group, so that we're like, okay, this is cool, I can't wait to see them next chapter, I did not like this. I didn't like this because we skipped through 11 hours of the Cracker versus Luffy fight. Luffy is eating the crackers, and he's just trying to wear down Cracker over time because he can't defeat him. Here is the big, huge problem with that. You know why Oda had to skip 11 hours? I think it's probably because he knew that he could not realistically put any of that on panel. He couldn't realistically put Luffy who was struggling and had to go into Gear 4th to fight those Cracker soldiers, eating them. How could he get close enough to eat them without getting chopped up? Because he struggled with them just a few chapters back. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous. And also the whole haki that makes them harder than any haki that Luffy has gone at, it just seems so unrealistic that there is no possible way that Oda could have put that on panel. And another massive reason Oda couldn't have put it on panel, you remember when he used Gear 4th against Doflamingo, and it was a huge plot point that he was down for the count, couldn't use haki whatsoever for at least 10 minutes? Well, he used Gear 4th, so we just sort of skipped over that drawback to Gear 4th. So either Oda as an author had to eliminate the drawback, which makes Gear 4th incredibly broken at this point, or that means that Oda has just said, I cannot think of a possible way for Luffy to survive this fight with Cracker, so I'm just going to have to skip over it and say that he did survive the fight with Cracker. So while all the Sanji stuff this week was great, even though it could be argued that some of it was reusing scenes, I think that it was using mirroring to a really, really cool effect. But this Luffy stuff was just, I'm gonna have to call BS on it. I'm gonna have to call BS on this Luffy surviving for 11 hours against Cracker after using Gear 4th. Like, nope, BS. Until we see it on panel in a way that makes sense, and we're not going to, that's why we skipped over it. It's in the realm of BS. And I think that's about it for this chapter. So with that said, all my thoughts and everything was great except the ending, and the flashbacks I thought were really good. I love the use of mirroring, but it could be argued that some of them were a little bit derivative of scenes we've already seen. I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10. I want to give it a little bit higher for the Sanji stuff, but that ending really, really was a little bit of shoddy writing. I personally don't think we see shoddy writing that often in One Piece like we do in a lot of other big, long-running manga, but I think that skipping through that was a big steaming pile of ass pull on a Bleach or Fairy Tail level, and Don't think, oh, he's hating on Bleach or Fairy Tail, because I enjoy both of those series. Bleach is actually one of my favorite. Well, before it ended, that is, but still, you get the point. It was an asshole, because Oda was like, how do I get Luffy to move into this next part of the plot without getting defeated by Cracker, when he really logically should have? I'll just skip over it. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Sorry to bore you with that rant. But like if you did like the video, comment down there and tell me what you thought of this chapter and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more One Piece, both anime and manga, and a bunch more of other stuff. Just check out the channel, sub if you want. Follow on Twitter if you want as well. I'll try to keep you updated on stuff. Yeah, just try to keep you updated on stuff, really. That's about it. That's it. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.